A very good morning to all of you. So we will start our session in 2 minutes. We will wait for others. Okay, so we should start our session. So in the last class, we have started digital modulation. So we have studied three types of digital modulation are available in the three types of digital modulation are available. First one is ASK, second one is FSK, third one is ESK. So out of these, we have already completed ESK, that is named as or that is abbreviated as amplitude shift key. Today we are going to cover FSK, that is known as frequency shift key. So as we know, why we need modulation? Because your signal cannot travel for a longer distance. You need a high frequency carrier which can carry your data signal and it can travel through a longer distance. Second, you need if your frequency is high, then the height of antenna required is less. So the height of antenna will be given by lambda by 4, and the wavelength lambda can be calculated using C by F. So this is the formula by which you can calculate the height of antenna. If your frequency is in the range of kilohertz, then you need a antenna whose height is in kilometers. So that is not possible to fabricate an antenna whose height is in kilometers. So for that purpose, we we go for modulation technique. So we know the carrier signal contains three characteristics. First one is amplitude, second one is frequency, third one is phase. So now if your phase is going to change with respect to your data signal, that is known as phase shifting. If your amplitude is going to change with respect to amplitude, amplitude of carrier signal with respect to your carrier signal, then with respect to your data signal, then it is known as amplitude modulation. So here we are going to cover FSK. So the frequency of your carrier signal going to vary in accordance to your data signal. So that is our target here. So how it will be going to vary, we will see that thing. So the frequency shifting. So here the data is in digital format. So the data is going to change the frequency of your carrier signal, that is FT, that is known as frequency shifting. So your data can be either one or it can be either zero. So it can be two types of data will be available. It can be one or it can be zero because it's a binary number. So the frequency FN or the modulated signal or the FSK signal will contain two frequency components. So the first component will be F1, that is Fc plus delta F. So that will be increased by delta F, and 0 will be represented by Fc minus delta F. So either it can be this one or it can be reversed. So you can go for F1 equals to Fc minus delta F or Fc equal to F2 Fc plus delta F. So you can choose any one of these. So this is the one example where they have given that we can choose these frequencies or you can choose your own frequency. So this is the frequency what you are going to get at the output of your signal. So this is FSK. Now we will see the demonstration of FSK. So here if you see, you are having two-digit code. So what does it mean that we are having two-digit code? That means the binary system or the binary signal which you are receiving, it is not a single bit. So we are having two digits. So if you are having two digit or as n is equals to 2, you are having four samples, 0, 1, 2, and 3. So you can get these four samples. So if you receive these four samples, so you should have four frequencies. So first should be Fc plus delta F1, second should be Fc plus delta F2, third should be Fc plus delta F3, and fourth should be Fc plus 4 delta F4. Or just a minute. So everyone is getting that screen or not? Okay, you are getting that screen. Okay, so we are having four levels. So 0, 1, 2, and 3. If you see that blue signal, so these are continuously changing signals. So if both signals are 0, so that will be represented by 0. If if one signal is 0 and another signal is 1, then it will be represented by 1. If it is 1 0, then it is represented by 2. If it is 1 1, then it is represented by 3. So you have to choose four frequencies. So first can be, if you can go for either plus, or you can go for minus. So we will take two on the plus side and two we will take on the minus side. So first we will take Fc plus delta F1. Second we will take Fc plus delta F2. Third we will take Fc minus delta F, and fourth we will take Fc minus delta F, delta F. So we will have four frequency with a deviation of delta F. So every frequency will be deviated by the equal amount. So you will get four frequency components in your output frequency. So you can see here in this figure, the frequency for 0, the signal representing in the output side, and the frequency for that 0 component is the maximum. Then the F1 frequency is the next to that, and it is less than 2 level. Now for 2, it is greater than 1, but it is less than 3. And F3 or level 3 will have the minimum frequency component. So in this way, you can generate FSK signal using this modulation. Now we will see, if you replace 2-digit code by 1-digit code, what will happen. Now if you replace 2-digit by 1-digit code, now you are having only two levels. Either you are having 0 or you are having 1. So if you are having only 0 or those two levels, so you are having two frequency components at the output side. So it can be either 0 or it can be 1. So or it can be a Fc, or it can be Fc plus delta F, or Fc minus delta F. So here you are seeing one is Fc plus delta F and second one is Fc minus delta F. So two frequency components. First one is F1, second one is F2. These two frequency components are available in your output signal. If your signal is 1 level, or you can say 1 bit data is there. So this is an example of binary frequency shift keying. So what we have seen in the previous slide, that is same as this one. So we can say for 0 we are having a small lesser frequency, and 1 we are having a higher frequency. In the previous, if you see, 1 will have a higher frequency, 0 will be having a smaller frequency. Now the bandwidth requirement for this FSK is higher than your ASK. Now what are the various advantage of using FSK over ASK? So if you are using ASK signal, then the bandwidth requirement is less. So if you have remembered that formula, or bandwidth formula for ASK, it is given by 1 plus D multiplied by S, where D is your modulation factor. So it will be always lies between 0 and 1. And S is the signal rate, which you can calculate using baud rate and bit rate. So this you can calculate. Now here you are getting a extra term here in the bandwidth of your FSK signal, that is delta F. So the delta f is your deviation in the frequency component of both two signals. So you have both two frequencies. So if your first frequency lies at f1 plus delta f and the second frequency lies at f1 minus delta f, so your total deviation between both the frequencies is 2 delta f. So say for example, first frequency center of the frequency lies at 100 hertz and second frequency lies center point lies at 200 hertz. So delta f will be 200 minus 100. So in this way you can calculate the bandwidth of your FSK signal. So although the frequency of FSK or bandwidth of the FSK signal is much more higher as compared to your ASK signal. So it will always affected by your baud rate and bit rate. So it will also affect that part will be affected by your so the bandwidth will be given by 1 plus d multiplied by s into 2 delta s. So this will be the equations for calculation the bandwidth of a FSK. So we will see an example of a bandwidth. So say for example, your bandwidth total bandwidth allocated to you is 100 kilohertz and it is available in the span from 200 to 300 kilohertz. So if you subtract 200 minus 300, you will get 100 kilohertz. Now we will see how you can locate these frequencies in your frequency spectrum. So we are having, just if you see, we are having K2 frequency or the bandwidth lies between 200 to 300 kilohertz. So you are having a total spectrum of our first frequency. This will be 300 kilohertz and second will be available here. That is 200 kilohertz. Now, if you find the center of this two frequencies, that will be located at center of these two. So this will be located here. And the frequency will be 200k plus 300k divided by 2. It will be always your center point. So it will be 250k. So your center point will be available at 250k. So you can calculate using this way. So first you have find the center point. Now we want to go for ASK where bit rate is given. We want to calculate the bit rate and they have given the D. So in your FSK, there are two frequency components should be available. So where it will be available? So it will be available at the center of first 2 points. So if you see, so this is first spectrum and this is the second one. So the center frequency of first signal will be available in between them. So it will be available here. Because you want to calculate delta f. So how the delta f has been calculated, that I am showing. So this is your second frequency component. It will be also at the center of these 2 points. So this can be calculated as 250 plus 300 divided by 2. So 550 divided by 2. So you will get 275. Okay. Same way, this can be calculated 200 plus 250 divided by 2. So you will get 225. Okay. So these two frequency will be available here. One will be here, and so the difference between these two, if you see the difference between these two, is known as delta F. So the difference between these two will be 275K minus 250K, 225K. 275 minus 225, that will be 50K bandwidth, 50K will be there. So this is your delta F. So in this way, you can calculate your delta F. So this is the first task to calculate that two delta F. So two delta F he has represented using this formula. So two delta F will be 50K. So how they have written two deltas, that I will share you. First, if you have seen the first definition, the first component, frequency component, will be Fc plus delta F. So first one will be Fc plus delta F, and second frequency component F2 is will be equals to Fc minus delta F. Now, if I want to find the difference between those two, F2 minus F1 or F1 minus F2, what I will get, Fc will goes out and you will remain with 2 delta. So that is the difference between these two frequencies. Because if you send two signals, so you should know what is the difference between those frequency components. So here, when you are going to see, you will see that we are sending the only ASK signal, but we are sending two ASK signal at a time. If your signal is binary, then we are sending two ASK signal at a time. So your bandwidth will be represented by same as the ASK, but we will require a 2 delta F extra bandwidth in comparison with your ASK signal. So we have calculated 2 delta F is your 50 kilohertz. So we are having, if you see, so what parameters we are having? We have already having B. B is given in the first line, that is 100 kilohertz. D he has given, D is equals to 1. 2 delta F we have calculated. So 2 delta F you can calculate using this formula. So you can easily calculate as baud rate. You can calculate, it will be 25 kilobaud. Or if you can calculate as, then you can easily calculate the bit rate. So bit rate can be calculated easily here, because the number of levels available here is, or the number of bits available here is 1, or number of levels are 2, 0 and 1. So the baud rate will be always equals to bit rate. If you are having multiple levels, if you are having 3 level signal, then your bit rate will be 3 times than your baud rate. So baud rate can be equals to, or can be greater than, or can be equals to your bit rate, but it will be never smaller than that. So here in this way you can calculate the baud rate and bit rate of FSK. So I will take 2 minute pause. If you just go through this slide, if you find any difficulty, you can ask in chat window. Okay, we should move to the next thing. So we are having two types of FSK available. One is coherent and second one is non-coherent. So in non-coherent FSK, if your digital data is changing from 1 to 0, so then your frequency is going to change. So what will happen if your frequency is going to change? Your signal can start from the different phase. So what it will do in coherent, it will start from that phase, same phase what they have ended from the zero signal. In the coherent, it will start from the zero phase always. So I will show you what it means. So what is the phase? First, you will see that if you are a sine signal and it terminates here or it ended here. So you can see here there is a phase difference. So if this is your phase difference phi, so either your signal can start from here or it can start from always zero. So if it is a non-coherent, then what it will do? So say for example, this is a non-coherent example. So this is one frequency component. Its signal here ended here, and your frequency is going to decrease. So your signal will move from that frequency component only. Now from here your frequency has changed, but your phase has started from there only. Now if you see the coherent sources, coherent FSK, how it will look like. So it will be same as up to this point, it will same. Now it is ended here. So what it will do, it will go up to this and it will start again from zero. So the phase what here started is 150 or 140 degree by 340 degree, but in this case the phase will be always either 0 or 360 degree. So that is the difference between coherent and non-coherent FSK scheme. Now we will see the multi-level FSK. So what we have discussed till now, the bandwidth of a FSK, that is true for single level. Or if you are having multiple bits per signal element or multiple levels, then how you can represent the bandwidth? So bandwidth will be represented by 1 plus d multiplied by s plus l minus 1 to delta f. Why we have taken l minus 1? Because if you see the number of levels, so number of levels will be 0 to 7. So if your number of levels will be 8, so the maximum integer or maximum number present in that one will be 7. So that's why they have taken l minus 1. So after the simplification, because if you simplify, you will get other terms is having very less uh, significance as compared to the L. So the your formula, you can just neglect those terms and you can come up with the solution that it will be represented by L multiplied by S. So where L is the number of levels and S will be your baud rate. So in this way you can define your bandwidth of your multi-level FSK signal. So here it is showing bandwidth of a multiple FSK signal. So they have just go for the one level. So it is either 0 or 1. So here you can take L equals to 1 and you can just directly give that formula.
Now here there is a block that is known as VCO. So that stands for voltage control oscillator. This is the most important block which we are using in the FSK technique. So what does it mean? VCO means what it will perform and what it will do. So VCO is named as voltage control oscillator, and as the name suggests, the voltage will control its output frequency or oscillation. So why we require oscillations? So oscillation is required to generate certain frequencies. So if you want to generate a particular frequency, then you need a oscillation. So it's a basic science. So if you have studied, if you have seen in the previous semester, so you have studied tank circuit. So tank circuit is generally used for the oscillations. So where L is stored energy in form of current, and capacitor will your uh, store the charge in form of voltage. So if you remove the once you charge your capacitor, so what it will do? It will discharge through the inductor, and when it is discharging through the inductor, it will charge your inductor, or the energy will be stored in your inductor in form of current. Once the energy will be, or whole energy will be discharged from the capacitor, then there will be energy available in your inductor, so it will be discharging through your capacitor and it will charge your capacitor again. So when it is charging, the polarity will be always reversed. When it is charging your capacitor, the polarity will be reversed as the discharging of your capacitor. So due to which you will get a oscillation, so positive cycles and negative cycles. So in this way you can generate the different kinds of oscillation. But I have given a passive oscillations example, because if you see, these are the passive elements, inductors and capacitors. So always there will be some reduction in the amplitude when it is charging and discharging. So due to which what will happen, after some time your oscillations will be dead or your output will become zero. So for overcome that problem, we are integrating some active components which can overcome these issues. So this is known as FSK. So here you can see here, the one is generating some other frequency and zero is another generating some other frequency. So we are having an example. So we need to send 3 bits at a time at a bit rate of 3 Mbps. So if your bit rate is 3 Mbps and you are having 3 bit data, so how you can, so you are having 000 001 010 up to 111. So these 3 bits will be there. So baud rate is they have given, that is they have given the bit rate 3 bits per second. Now we need to calculate the baud rate. So if you are sending 3 bits at a time, that means your baud rate will be 1 by third of your bit rate. So baud rate will be your 1 Mbps, 1 megabaud. So this will be your baud rate. Now, second thing, if you see carrier frequency. So you are using 3 levels. So how many carriers, or you are having carrier frequency available in your FSK signal? So total carrier signals will be available in your FSK will be 8, because we are having 3 levels. So three, if you are having 3 bits, the number of levels will be 0 to 7. So if you are having 0 to 7 levels, so number of carrier frequency available in your output is 8. So if you want to fit 8 number of frequency within a range of 1 megahertz, 10 megahertz, then you can do one thing. You can choose a carrier frequency, or you can place all those frequency 1 megahertz apart. So if you put 1 megahertz apart, all 8 signals will be placed in your frequency spectrum within 8 megahertz. So total all the signals will be fitted in your bandwidth what they have given. So how we have done, I will just show in the figures so you can understand it properly. So say for example, this is your whole bandwidth, that is 10 megahertz. Now what we require, we want to accommodate 8 number of signals. So what we have did, we have placed 8 signals which is 1 megahertz apart. So first signal we will place here, then we place the second signal here. Same way we place all 8 signals. So what it will show, it is showing that from here to here and from here to here, if you calculate the delta f, so this is your mid-band frequencies and this is your mid-band frequency for this second component. So this will be always 1 megahertz. So the signal will be placed 1 megahertz apart from each other. So the third signal will be available after this 1 megahertz, fourth signal will be available after 1 megahertz. So total 8 megahertz, all signal will be accommodated in 8 megahertz. So your 2 megahertz will remain and you will utilize 8 megahertz bandwidth. So in this way, we have made this selection that how we can go for one frequency should be aparted in which number of levels. So in this way, we can select that thing. So now bandwidth required is so 8 multiplied by 1m. So here we don't need 2 delta f, although we have calculated it. So if you see, if you want to go for the actual formula, so if you want to calculate accurately, so you need 2 delta f. So if you want to go for it, S is already we have found, so it is 1 megabaud. D is given 1, so L is 8, 8 minus 1 7, and 2 delta f. Delta f is given, so delta f is your 1 megahertz. So you can calculate if you want to calculate using that one. Otherwise, you can directly calculate L multiplied by S. So you will get the approximate value of your bandwidth in multi-level FSK. So we have calculated here approximate value. So that will be given by 8 multiplied by 1. So that is 8 mega, 8 megahertz. The bandwidth will be bandwidth requirement for this signal will be 8 megahertz. So we will see in the figure. So here you can see the center of frequency is FC is 10 megahertz. Now every signal will be aparted 1 megahertz apart. So here from here to here, total 8 megahertz bandwidth is required. So you will require this much bandwidth for sending the signal from one place to another place. If your bandwidth is lesser than this, you can't send your whole signal. So before starting multi-sim circuit, if you are having any doubts up to this, you can ask. Okay. So if you see in this problem, the number of levels you can calculate 2 raised to power n. So n is given here. So if you see in this problem, n is equals to 3. This is given here. How many bits are there? So they have given you have to send 3 bits at a per second. So n is will 3. So you can easily calculate the number of levels. So the number of levels will be given by 2 raised to power 3. That will be equals to 8. So once you calculate the 8 number of bits, total number of bits are available into 8. Then you have to just go for finding. If you see this formula, you need not to go for finding delta f. You can just directly multiply with the baud rate. So if you just want to calculate the approximate value, so the approximate value that can directly calculate. So S will be given by bit rate divided by R, or here you have represented N. So if you find your baud rate will be given by bit rate divided by N, where N is number of bits, or R. In the previous session, we have represented using R. So normally in the Porosan book, they are using R as a number of bits. So the number of bits will be R. So here it is 3. So it can be calculated as will be 3 Mbps divided by 3. So this will be available 1 Mbps. So other things is not required. If you want to skip these parts, you can skip. So we can directly calculate bandwidth will be equals to L multiplied by S multiplied by L. So S is 1 Mbps and L is 8. So total bandwidth requires it 8 Mbps or 8 megahertz. So in this way, you can directly calculate. Now what he has given, center frequency is 10 megahertz. So if your center frequency is 10 megahertz, you have to place 8 signals. So because we are having 8 number of levels, so what you can see, you can do FC plus delta F second will be FC plus 2 delta F, 4 on the positive side and 4 on the negative side. Three and 4. This 4 frequency will be on the higher side, and the other 4 frequency will be on the lower side, or lower than your center frequency. It will be minus delta F, minus 2 delta F, minus 3 delta F, minus 4 delta F. So these 8 components will be there. These 8 frequencies will be available in your FSK signal. So what they have decided, that delta F is 1 megahertz. So all the frequency will be separated by 1 megahertz signal. So that is the assumption they have made. So if you see in this figure, so FC plus delta F, so you will get 10.5. FC plus 2 delta F, so you will get 11.5. Then FC plus 3 delta F, you will get 12.5. FC plus 4 delta F, you will get 13. Same way, FC minus delta F, you will get 9.5. So the difference between F4 and F5 is 1 megahertz. So they have decided, so every signal will be separated by 1 megahertz difference. So they have placed in such this manner. So total bandwidth requirement will be 6.5 minus 13.5, or you can say 13.5 minus 6.5. So you will get it will It will start from 6 and it will go up to 14. So total bandwidth required by 14 minus 6. So it will be 8 megahertz. So total bandwidth you require here 8 megahertz. So if you go for the actual formula, if you calculate using this formula also, you will get the same output, but a little bit addition. You will get the output in terms of points. So some points will be there. So don't go for that. Just go for calculate using this formula if it is a multi-level FSK. Because other terms what they are using delta F is containing less importance than as compared to number of levels. So as the number of levels is increasing, your dominance of delta F or the deviation in delta frequency domain will be less as compared to the single bit. So in this way you can calculate. So is it clear, Aditya? Okay. So now first example we are, so for performing this experiment we have gone through the multiple circuits. So first we have decided that we will go for the multiplexer. So multiplexer you have already learned in your previous semester what the multiplexer will do. The multiplexer will select one of the input depending on the inputs available at selections line. So multiplexer is also named as data selector. So if you see, you have seen in the block. So here we are using 2x1 multiplexer. So these are the two inputs and we are having one selection line. So this is S, this is A, this is B, and we are having a output Y. Now your truth table for this multiplexer will be given by S and Y. So if your S is 0, what will be your output? If your S is 0, what will be the output? You have learned in this in the subject. In the multiplexer, if your selection line is 0, what will be your output? Tell me quickly. Manthan, Manav, Jash. पढ़ा हुआ है ये तो. मल्टीप्लेक्सर में 0 दोगे तो क्या आउटपुट आएगा? लास्ट टाइम में पढ़ा है. 0. You will get A. So what does it mean? Just we will see the operation of this multiplexer, what it looks like. Say for example, you are having two bridges, or you are having a single bridge which is used to connect between these two paths A and B by changing its position. So if you place 0, it will connect at A. If you place 1 here, it will connect to B location. Now what will happen? Say for example, some of the cars are waiting here on this bridge number or at this A. So this is the first car. Then this is the second car. Now the other cars available at this location. Now both have to pass from the same output. So if the bridge is connected to A, so whatever cars available at this A location will be passed through this bridge and available at output. So it can be either 0 or 1 if it is a binary form. So I have taken a real world example. So in that you have taken a car. So car may be any company's car will be there. It can be Audi, it can be BMW, it can be Maruti, it can be Tata, or any car will be there. So that will be passed through your output. Now if you take 1, what will be happening? This switch will be connected here. So now if your switch is connected here, this path will be removed. So if it is removed, now the car available at A cannot cross. Whatever the car available at B, they can cross from one location to they can pass from this bridge. So they will available at output. So if you apply 1, it will be available at your output will be available here will be B. Now if you see the current scenario, what we want. So we are having a digital signal. So you are having 1 for the particular duration, and for here you are having 1. So this is some your digital data. So say for example, this is 1 1 0 1 then 0 1 1 and 1. This data signal is available, or this digital data is there with you. You want to transmit from one place to another place, and you want to use FSK technique. So what you want to do? So first signal what you are using, that is 1, should be sampled with some frequency, and 0 should be sampled with the other frequency. So so for 1 it is higher frequency. So this will be somewhere this frequency. For 0 it will be lower frequency. So you will receive this kind of, or you want to send this kind of output. So just if you see, for 1 it should be A signal, which frequency is FC plus delta F. And for 0 it is B signal, which is FC minus delta F. So ultimately what we want to do, if you place 0, we want to send data A,
If you place 0, we want to send data B. So we have gone through the solution that we can use multiplexer instead of using any complex circuit. So, but if you see that multiplexer is a digital block. So if you are in a digital block, the output will be always digital. So it will be not, you will not able to receive your analog signal. So your output will be in form of digital. So you will get this kind of waveform. So for one, you will get a higher frequency. So you will get this frequency. So for 0, you will get a lesser frequency. So for 0, you will get a lower frequency. So you will get receive this kind of signal. So we don't want to reproduce the digital signal again. So we are facing that challenge. So that is the first circuit what we have think of, and we have found this challenge. So we will demonstrate that circuit in multisim. Then we will go for the other circuit. So now first we have think of this circuit. Now if you see, we are having two function generator XFG1 and XFG2. So XFG1 is connected to A and XFG2 is connected to B, and the digital data is connected to XFG3. So the XFG3 is generating a digital signal, and XFG1 and XFG2 is generating analog signal. So if you see this thing, but in your output you will get a digital signal only. So if you see the output for 0, you are getting a lesser frequency, and for 1 you are getting some other frequency component. So in this figure, but the output is in digital format. So we are facing that challenge. So we have overcome this solution. So we have think of another solution using digital circuit. So what we have did, we have come up with this solution. Now in this solution, we are having two oscillators. These two oscillators are generating different frequencies. So first oscillator may generate Fc plus delta F, and second will be generating Fc minus delta F. Now the oscillator frequencies is multiplied with your input data signal. So here we are having an inverter. So what inverter will do? If it is 0, it will be replaced by 1. If it is 1, then the output will be 0. So whatever input or data input is available here, the inverted digital input is available here. This inverted input is multiplied by the oscillator frequency, and this will be multiplied by this oscillator signal. Now, if you multiply this oscillator signal, you will get first signal which is available here. That is first ASK signal, and the second will be available here. There, you will get the second ASK signal. If you combine these two ASK signal, you will get the SSS signal. I will tell you how it is going to perform in the multisim. But before that, you should understand what is ASK process. So we have already seen the ASK process. So if you want to produce the ASK signal, what you can do, you can take a sine waveform and multiply with digital data. So wherever you are having 1 and this is 0, so anything multiplied by 0, you will get 0. So what you will get, signal up to this point will be available in the output,
and this part will be removed. So this part will be replaced by a straight line, that will be 0. So your output will look like this. Now what we have did, we have inverted the signal. So we have passed the signal through an inverter. So your output will look like, wherever you are applying 1, you will get 0. So from here to here, you will get a 0. Wherever it is 0, you will get 1. And for other period, it is 1. So we will replace by 0. Now, if you multiply this signal with your carrier signal, so it will be opposite. So this is your ASK signal, or you can say OK signal, on off keying. So we have already seen what is OK and ASK signal. So you are able to generate that thing. So in this way, you can generate, if you just add these two signal, whatever you are getting here. So this is, so both contain other frequencies. So if you join together or combine these two signal together, then you can generate FSK signal. So we will take a break here of 2 minutes. Then we will start the implementation of circuit in multisim. If you are having any doubt, so you can ask in the chat window. Okay, so we start implementing that block diagram. So we are having two multiplier, one inverter, and one summing point. So we will have two multiplier circuits. Then one adder. So instead of digital clock, I will place digital constants so you can understand the operation. So I will place a digital constant here. Voltage summary is this one. So summary will place here. Then we will place two signal sources. So we will place a AC voltage source here. First source we will multiply on the A1 and second we will multiply at A2. And we need an inverter. So one signal will directly available at the first multiplier circuit. Second will be through inverter. So we have connected that thing. Now second will be this one. First oscillator frequency will be connected here. Now place the ground in your circuit. Now the frequency should be different. So I will select this is 10 kilohertz and first one is 1 kilohertz. So we will see in CRO whether we are getting or not. So we will select 4-channel oscilloscope. So we are having two ASK signals. So we will see that whether we are getting here or not. Once you run it. So we will shift second signal so we can see it properly. So you can see whenever first signal is available, second signal will be 0. Now we just change this voltage 0 to 1. So you can see now your first signal will be 0, your second signal will be available. So you are getting two ASK signals at a time. So that will be available. Now we will connect both, we will add these two inputs. So as we see, if another signal is available, first signal will be 0. So if the first signal is 0, then there is no problem because it will be 0. Anything added to 0 will be the same thing. So A plus 0 will be A. Same way B plus 0 will be B. So whenever your A signal will be available, you will get A in the output. If your B signal is available, you will get B as the output. Now instead of using this key space, we will replace by clock.
So 1 kilohertz is very high, so I will place with 10 hertz. So we will remove other inputs. So B will be will I will make it 0, and A will be also I will make it 0. So now this is your output. So I will just place the digital signal so you can see what it is happening. So instead of measuring these two outputs, I will remove these two, this one. So instead of measuring, I will take digital data at input side. And the digital data net color I will change. Okay, I will connect to DC. So now you can see the waveform. So whenever the input or the digital signal is 1, you are having a different frequency, and for 0, you are having a different frequency. So this is the first solution what we have come up with. Now this circuit you can use, but this is not a physical circuit. So you need some physical circuit which can be implemented on the breadboard. So what we have come up with a solution which are available, because these are the blocks which are available in multi-sim, but it is not available in the real life. So what we do, we will go for a circuit which can you can implement using ICs. So we have designed another circuit which is using this IC. Now, what is the function of this IC? This IC, whatever signal, if you are having uh, four inputs here, IN1, IN2, IN3, IN4, and four source inputs, S1, S2, S3, S4, and four destination output, D1, D2, D3, and D4. So if your in1 is 1, your whatever S1 signal is there, it will be available at D1. What if your IN2 is 1, whatever signal will be available at S2, source 2, will be available at destination 2. So the block will be working like this. So it's like a switch only. So I will show you how it is working. So first you select. So 40668 BD15. So it can be 15, it can be 10. So we have 10 or 5. So we will go for 15. So just we have placed. Now I will show you how it is operating. First we will see the operation. Now I will take a digital constant here. Sorry, interactive constant we will take. So you can, and we will take analog signal here. We will connect the power supply. These two are power supplies. So we will connect. Now, right now, if you are seeing whatever input is there, it is available. Now, if you place it 0, the input will be available with lesser amplitude. If it is 1, you are having a higher amplitude. So in this way, you are getting the output. So it is something like ASK signal. So now what we will do, in the second, we will add this thing again. So same block will be available here in IN2. But with the different frequency. So instead of 1 kilohertz, we will replace by 10 kilohertz. Now we will add an inverter here. So we are using the same fundamental what we have used. So instead of using this, now we replace by pulses. Just a minute. So I will replace it, all these functions with function generator. The first signal I want to place a square wave signal. Okay, S1 is here is connected to S1, and this inverter should be connected to S1. So this will be connected to S2. Now this digital signal is connected, so we will see first the waveform of this thing, whether we are getting the correct waveform or not. Channel C. So channel C, 1 amplitude. Voltage should be 1 because you are using inverters, so it will not. We are having an issue with inverter output because if you see in this figure, this inverter output is taken at C channel. Now it will be always treated as 1, whereas we are applying some voltages here, but you are not getting the output, inverted output at this point. So that's why there is an issue with this circuit. Right now I will just solve because it is working in 14.0 version, but in this version I have an issue. So I will check that what is an issue we are facing. Just give me 2 minutes. in this figure we are not finding this, so I will share another screen. Just a minute. So this circuit is not working with the 13.0, but it is working with 14.0. So I will show you, share you that screen. So here the same block has been implemented in 14.0. So again, the data square wave will be there. So same frequencies or all those things will be same, whatever you have chosen in this figure only. But this in this figure, this is not working properly, or in this version, this is not working properly. So that's why I have said to install 14.0. So if you see the output in this one, so for one you are saying the different frequency. For zero, you will see the different frequency. Once zero will come there. So if your blue line will become 0, you will able to see that. So the frequency is very small, so that's why it is an issue. So for 0, you are not able to see anything because the frequency is 1 hertz. You just need to increase that frequency so that you can see that figure, see that output. So you place it 100. So you can see some part of your that waveform is seen here. So you can increase the frequency because it is due to that square wave. In that particular waveform, your frequency is not fitting here. So that's why you are getting this kind of problem. So you can just go for 500. But the frequency should be different. The first XFG1 and XFG2 frequency should be different from each other. Then only you can see. So you can see the frequency has been changing from 0 to 1, and it's a coherent because always non-coherent because wherever uh, it's a coherent FSK because for 0 it is always starting from the 0. So in this way, this circuit can be used to generate FSK signal. So your task is to there is another task. We have discussed an open course for signal and modulation. So you have to go there. So before using this interactive session, you have to log in this account. So you have to create your account. Again, you have to type your enrollment number, last 3 digit of enrollment number. So just I am writing random number. So you can take any other, and you have to select BFSK and you have to select the carrier frequency and you have to submit it. So you will able to see the FSK signal which is generated here. So for 1 it will be higher frequency, for 0 it will be a lower frequency. So whatever the carrier is available, if it is 1, the carrier the same frequency will be available, and for 0 it will be ft minus delta f. So that frequency will be available for 0. So in this way you can generate. So you have to send this snapshot. Already this portal has been created in your canvas. So just take the snapshot using snipping tool or any other tool and submit in on your canvas. So this task you have to complete, and all the multisim file I will attach there. So you can perform the experiment easily over there. So this is all about. So
So if you are having if you are having any doubt up to this, you can ask me. So till now, I will download the attendance sheet so that I can fill your attendance.
Okay. Do one thing. You type your attendance, so I will take it from that. There. Everyone type your attendance in chat window, so I will take your attendance from there. Once it is done, you leave that meeting, so I can know attendance is completed. So all of the student has sent that attendance. Yashang, you have Nikita. Okay.
So A4 present.
ચાલુ કરવાનું